Okay, I think people need to know the truth on how the Flint Water Crisis got started. I've been doing my own research, and this is what I found out. Contrary to what the mainstream media tells you, contrary to what the ACLU may tell you, or contrary to what you may have heard from like Detroit News, Detroit Free Press, LA Times, New York Times, Live, it was the City Council decision to change over water from the Detroit to the Flint River. I found this, actually, somebody posted it on Facebook, the City Council meeting itself on March 25th, 2013. And I took that link that I found on Facebook, I looked at the video, and it was the actual City Council meeting where they took the vote to change over. Here's what it was supposed to be. They were supposed to blend the water, which was Flint River, with the Flint River with the KBA, and to use the Flint River as a backup source, because the KBA wasn't going to be done until 2016. So they had to have a backup source. So the Flint River was going to be used as a backup source, and also to, when the KBA actually the pipeline got fixed, was supposed to be blended with the Flint River. Okay, so that's what they voted on. They voted on 7-1. Now, you don't hear that. Now, Live has said the vote never talked about using the Flint River. But if you go to Live, an article during that time, March 25th, 2013, you will see that even in that article, it says that they were to use the Flint River to blend with the KBA. So, my question is, what's going on? Why is the mainstream media, like CNN, New York Times, and all that, not telling the truth that the City Council made the decision? Now, they will try to tell you the City Council didn't have power. That's wrong. Because the emergency manager granted the City Council in the mail. You hear that in the City Council meeting, in the video. You hear the city attorney say that. You hear the mayor say that. Now, how did they get power and why? Because the emergency manager didn't want to be responsible. Now, the emergency manager told the councils because he would get fired from the state if he made that decision. But honestly, I have to agree with one of the council members. The reason he gave them power was because he didn't want the state to be responsible if anything goes wrong, if he made that decision himself. And that's what one of the council members brought up and said, hey, I think the true reason he gave the council powers because he didn't want the state to be responsible if something bad goes on. So, Ed Kurtz gave authority to the council and the mayor to make that decision on the transfer of the water. Okay? That's in the video. And you got the city attorney confirming it, and you got the mayor confirming it. So, they voted to use the Flint River, 7-1. So, and let's be honest, they're Democrats. The city council is Democrats, the mayor is Democrat. But we're going to only blame the Republican governor and go after the Republican governor. The people in Flint are only going to go after the Republican governor. That's not fair. I admit, and the governor admitted, the state agency didn't do a good job of making sure the city followed by federal law, even, giving their own analysis that really wasn't sufficient enough. But the city did its own water analysis, And the mayor commissioned that water analysis. And the water analysis said the water was okay. But as the drain commissioner said, the water was okay. He said it was no problem blending. So the water analysis people did not check for lead. They checked for bacteria. And lead's not a bacteria, it's a metal. So, and that's probably what the state had a problem. But the state in 2011 did tell them that they had to add non-corrosive material. And that's in the city council video as well, that they were required to use non-corrosive, agents in the piping, in the water. So, that's in the city council video. I'm going to post the city council video. I'm going to post the MLive article. Okay? And I'm going to post some other articles like Upworthy saying that city documents came up missing. City water documents came up missing from the city. Wonder why. Was the city trying to cover up something? But anyway. So we got the situation. Well, everybody wants to blame the governor, but nobody wants to blame the city. The EPA has taken responsibility since they've known since April. The governor has taken responsibility because he said it was his state quality inspector and also the treasury person that finalized the deal. So, yeah, he already took responsibility, the governor. But the city has not taken responsibility, and no one is holding the city accountable. The current lawsuit at ACLU is against the state, because the ACLU don't want to go have a lawsuit against Democrats, because they're anti-Republican. So, we need to hold everyone accountable, and the city council members need to accept responsibility. It's already recorded. The video articles on that date show that they voted to use the Flint water, not only as to blend with the KVA, but also as a backup source. So I'm asking people to start with responsibility and hold the city council responsible. The people that were re-elected only, not the people that are newly elected, and hold the ex-mayor responsible. Because Karen Weaver, she wasn't there. It was Dane Wallen. She was the mayor. He was the mayor. The other city council members, the one that were re-elected, they should be held accountable. So people need to stop being partisan, stop playing politics. This ain't about removing the governor so you can put in your Democrat governor. This is money that is needed. Now, I'm a Republican, and I congratulate President Obama. Somehow, someway, President Obama got $80 million for the city of Flint, even though his declaration said all he needed was $5 million. I have no clue how he did that, and however he did that, I agree with it. And I don't need to know the details. I don't care if he borrowed money from other funds, because you know what? That city needed help. So I as a Republican, I congratulate President Obama for getting that $80 million. That's a lot of money. I think that's even more than Hurricane Katrina was. I think Hurricane Katrina was $56 million. I'm not sure. I don't know the numbers. But that's $80 million. All they needed was 20. So, whatever President Obama did, that was a good thing. And I'll give him credit. I don't agree with his politics. I don't agree with a lot of things he does. But somehow, some way, he had to negotiate this $80 million. And that city of Flint should be thanking, even the Republicans should be thanking President Obama for getting that $80 million. I mean, He had to go through a lot to get that 80 million. He did. Because when it says only 5 million, he gets his 80 million. Yeah, he had to go through hoops and loops just to get this $80 million. But, yeah, it's time for we hold the city accountable. I'm not from Michigan. I'm not from Flint. But I understand. And I want everybody to be held accountable. And that's what I'm saying. Thank you.